I'm Liliane Grace, the author of The Mastery Club, this book here, and The Hidden Order. And I'm here at the State Theatre Cafe to interview Asher McGlone. I met Asher when I was speaking at a Youth Literary Award, and Asher was one of the awardees. And when he got up to receive his award, he was standing there with it very straight and with his feet like this. I thought, that's an unusual position for a young man to take. And I discovered that, in fact, Asher is a ballet dancer. So I asked him if we could ask him a few questions and interview him for the Mastery Club and to inspire other young people in pursuing their goals. So here we are. Thanks for coming along, Asher.
No worries.
We've got a bit of cafe background noise there with the cappuccino machine, so I might have to
Battle it out.
but work around all that. So how old were you? How old are you now?
I'm 16.
You're 16
Yep.
now? Okay. And how old were you when you started dancing?
When I started dancing, I was in grade 3. I started I started with tap. I watched Billy Elliot and just loved the tap scene out of it. So I really want to start tap. And it was a bit of a funny story. I went to this tap studio, and I walked up the stairs. I ran out of the car and sprinted up the stairs, and Mum was still behind, locking up the car or whatever. And then I got up there and I saw these girls wearing tutus, and I ran down and my face went bright red. And I said, I don't want to do it. They're all wearing tutus. And so we came back down. Then we came back another day when they were doing a tap class, and I just loved it. I just loved doing tap dancing. And the teacher said that I needed to do ballet to work on technique that will help with my tap dancing, and just love the discipline that comes with ballet.
Okay. So how old were you at that stage when you picked up the ballet?
In grade 4 when I started to do ballet, and it was just two classes a week, and up until year 8, that was what I was doing. In year 9 I decided that I started to want to get a bit more serious, and just this year I've moved to Melbourne and taken a big step in pursuing the career that I want. I'm living with my friend Peter, as you know, Peter and Fletcher, and so I've moved away from my family who are in Brisbane.
Brisbane?
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah, so
oh, wow.
a long way, about 4 hours away. Yeah.
4 hours away, wow. Okay. So you've really kind of embraced this as a career path then?
Yeah.
You want to be one of the big names?
I want to be, yeah. It's my dream.
Really?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So like the young athletes that want to be Olympiads and win gold medals, what's the equivalent for a ballet dancer? Like what's the vision that you've got for yourself?
It's to be a principal ballet dancer. I want to go to the Munich Ballet Company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dance in Germany. Yeah.
Why Germany?
I studied Germany in high school and just really loved the language and the culture, and we had an exchange student, Thomas, who came over, and he always just used to talk about Germany, and so I really wanted to go visit him and live over in Germany and dance with the ballet company over there.
Okay, wow, fantastic. I had a feeling when I met you that day at the Literary Award, I had a feeling you had vision, that you were going to go far. So it was filmed first here, this is the moment. Keep your eye on this space. So what are the biggest obstacles and challenges and whatever that you imagine that you'll have to face to achieve a big goal like that of being a principal dancer and, maybe a member of the Munich dance company?
Just the hard work every day. I mean, every day you've got to be getting up and stretching and working on new techniques and just practicing the pirouettes and the pliés every single day. You can never get perfect at it. You're always striving for more. Yeah. And I think that just some days you'll get up and you'll just be so tired and stuff, and you're thinking, why am I doing this? I'm too sore, I don't want to be doing this. And then other days you get up and you're just so energized and you just want to do it. And I think just getting over the mental will be the hardest obstacle, because there's so many hours that get put into it. After you finish a day of ballet, and then you have to stay behind in the studio and just work on what you've done that day. Just those little things just become really hard.
Well, you were saying that already now you're doing 6 days a week until 5 o'clock. That's intense, isn't it?
Some days I go over 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Yeah.
Wow.
So
How much of the day is dance and stretching and physical stuff, and how much is actually school kind of work? Are you doing much of that, or do you learn like the history of ballet? Do you have that kind of thing as well? Or?
I go to Collingwood College until roughly 12:40 each day to ballet at about 1 o'clock, and then we have warm up at 1:30, but we usually get in there early in that so we can do our, because we have a set warm up at 1:30, and then we get in there earlier so we can just do our own little, if we need to roll out some muscles or something, and then class starts at 2 o'clock, and usually we have different timetables, so it could go to 4:30 one day or 5:45 the next day, or some days if you're going to have a private it can go till 7 o'clock. So
Wow, so it's pretty full on already.
Yeah, it is.
And if you go on to become a principal dancer, I guess it just
gets,
you maintain it, or it gets more intense.
It does, yeah.
Yeah. And then you've got all the extra stuff that comes into it. Are you looking forward to things like travelling the world? And It's like eyes shine up there. Yeah, I can imagine that would be really fun. Great way to see the world.
Yeah, definitely. Europe is where I want to go. Because in Germany you could, just a bike ride away from Italy. I want to be going to Italy in the morning for a nice cup of coffee and sitting around in a cafe there, and then be able to just ride back to Germany and hang out with my friends. But I think the theatres over there are so amazing. Just to be able to be up on the stage there is such a feat.
Yes. I mean, the culture is so rich, isn't it? We're very far away from all that over here in Australia.
Yeah.
I took my daughters to Europe for a month in 2010, and it really was so different, isn't it? And it's just so it's that sense of how old everything is, and the culture, the richness and depth and everything was really wonderful. Really enjoyed it. I'm going to go back. Come back and see you dancing and something. Yeah. So how did your friends and family respond to this decision to take dance so seriously and to hang out with girls in pink tutus and all the rest of it?
Well, Mum and Dad were always very supportive of me. They always wanted me to follow my dream and make a career that wasn't a hassle to get up out of bed for. They told me from a young age to find something that you're passionate about, so it's not work, it's a leisure. And so when I started ballet, I thought, this could be my leisure. And the older that I got, I started to see that I can make something out of it, and if I can do that, I'd be so happy. And with my friends, they were always going to gave me. They used to tease me here and there and stuff, but they were always supportive of me. They knew that it was going to be hard, so they were always very supportive of me. And the girls always think it's a bit funny.
Well, the strength that you develop as a dancer, the character and the strength is really quite extraordinary, isn't it? So, I mean, you'd soon put them in their place if you had to, compete in some physical arena, wouldn't you?
I always love my athletics because I'm very competitive. And so, I have my friend Lincoln, and he plays footy, and he's extremely good at footy, and we'd always battle each other out on athletics day.
Right. Yeah, I can imagine. Did you see the film Mao's Last Dancer?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
that's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. And it's just the hard work that he does. It's exactly the same. Everybody has to do that if you want to be there. I thought it was a very good movie.
It really drives home, doesn't it? That the hours that he put into to make the leaps higher, and to just kind of get the technique exactly right. And there are so many stories about almost like cruelty, really, dance instructors who are very, very harsh and incredible pain. I mean, have you experienced much? You talk about the leisure of this decision, right? Have you experienced much pain?
There's yes, very much so. In class, it's you get in there and we'll have to hold a position, or just the teacher will be saying higher, and you're just thinking, when's this class going to end? You just want to get out of it. But it all pays off, hard work pays off. But one of my teachers came from he's not from Australia, so he came from a place where they used to force the stretching onto the children. He said only the people that survived made a career out of it. He said it was very harsh. Yeah, I think it'd be good if the teachers were like that here, but I think it wouldn't work as much.
That's a very big price to pay, isn't it?
Yeah.
One of my inspirations is a man called Dr. John Demartini. He actually wrote the foreword in the Mastery Club, and he talks about love being a balance of support and challenge, and that when you can embrace the pain and the pleasure in something, when you can embrace the pain and the pleasure in something equally, then you're much more destined to actually go a long way with it than if you only want the pleasure side of it. So clearly you're open to that. You're really willing to embrace the pain and the pleasure side of it. I remember there's a story he tells of a girl, a client he had, who wanted an Olympic gold in gymnastics, but she had a very, very harsh Russian, I think, trainer, and he would apparently do something like, if they did anything wrong, they'd have to climb a rope 100 times or something up in it, and it's like, oh my god, I couldn't even do it a quarter of the way up, 100 times. And what his point was that for those 3 minutes or whatever that you're doing your routine, you've got to get that perfect 10, and if you don't, she would be regretful for the rest of her life if she didn't get the gold, whereas if she worked that much harder and she got the gold, she'd be grateful to it forever for him pushing her so hard. So I guess for you it's a similar thing, isn't it? You've got all this hard training, hard effort for a couple of hours on stage.
Oh yeah, definitely, and our teachers love to push us as well. They're always shouting, you got to try hard, do this, more turn out and jump higher, all this stuff. And you think, they must hate me and everything, but it's not. It's tough love. They're doing it because they want you to achieve your goals.
Yeah, I can imagine. So what would you say have been the highlights and the lows so far that you've experienced?
I'm still very young in my journey, so not too many of either. I think highlights would be moving to Melbourne and getting into this school.
Being accepted into the conservatoire.
Yes, and the lows, don't really have any lows yet.
Really?
Yeah.
Just the pain.
Yeah.
That counts.
Yeah.
So I assume you had to come to Melbourne for an audition.
Yeah.
And then after that you sort of found out. So you must have been pretty nervous.
Oh yeah. It was the class. I was terrified, this new place, new studios and stuff, and then to get in there and have this class with the teacher that I had, it was very nerve-wracking, but got over it, and then got a letter saying that I was accepted. I was over the moon.
Fantastic.
And then it was all got to organise everything to then move down to Melbourne and away from my family and stuff. So it was very full on around the stage.
Yeah, so that's another element of the kind of pain side of it, isn't it? There's that distance from family.
Yeah.
But you're at an age where you're kind of ready for that anyway, I guess, 16, sort of ready to spread the wings and have some independence. Yeah, so it's great that it's working out so well for you. So as a last question, what are your immediate goals now for this next year? Let's say we know the long-term goal is to be a principal dancer and to go to Europe and participate in the cultural scene there. So what in the next year or so would you say by the end of 2014, what would you...
To improve as much as what I'm capable of. I think when you're younger is when you have to do the most, you have to change the most. So if I can get the most out of these younger years, so then when I'm older I'm not having to stretch really hard, I'm already flexible enough. I think just to get as much improvement as I can over the next year and work on what I've got will be
put in a good foundation so that everything
definitely.
you build is really strong.
Yeah.
Good. Well, thanks for your time, Asher.
No worries.
Really appreciate it. Maybe we can reconnect down the track and get an up-to-date story of what's happening and where you are at that point. And I hope you enjoy the Mastery Club. And I thought I'd give you also a copy of the Hidden Order as a bit of a thank you for coming along today.
Oh, thank
being
you.
interviewed. So yeah, I'll be interested to hear your thoughts about the books when you've read them.
Oh, no worries.